So flipped learning has really become an important buzzword in education over the last decade or so. The whole rationale behind it is that there's a ton of research out there that tells us the traditional style of instruction, the teacher lectures while the students take notes or observes, is one of the least effective ways to convey information to students. So flipped learning ultimately takes this traditional method and flips it completely backwards. So normally what would happen at school happens outside of the classroom, and what students normally did at home you do in the classroom. So the traditional flipped learning method, students are watching instructional videos, either teacher made or externally sourced. And they're doing kind of this lower level thinking at home, taking notes, just kind of getting all the information in, and then they come to school with these questions from the instruction, and they're able to ask the direct questions to the teacher, and then they're doing some of these higher level thinking projects, either group-based or individually in the classroom. Now this is great. You're really going from the sage on the stage to the guide on the side. I think that's a wonderful quote that gets tossed around with flipped learning. But the opponents say, hey, we have students that don't have internet access. Well, there's an alternate that I actually use in my classroom. It's called the in-class flip. Now, the in-class flip ultimately is flipped learning, but the majority of the expectations all happen in the classroom. So with in-class flip, these instructional videos are actually being watched in the class. And so it's a self-paced model where the students will watch the videos, take the notes, move on to some lower level thinking, either worksheets or assignments, and then progress further along to different stations that as they progress forward, the level of thinking kind of increases, and they eventually end up on a project that has to be very collaborative and involves a lot of critical thinking and problem solving. And I found that this model, it's just differentiation at its best, where the students are in control. They pace themselves. And you have a lot more one-on-one interaction with students, a lot more time to build relationships, build this trust. And I found the students get way more out of it. It's a lot harder for a student to sit back and fly under the radar. They can just kind of lock in and focus in on the videos, and then they're going at their own pace. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. It's all up to them. So as a teacher, it feels very awkward at first because your entire life you've experienced education in this one way. The teacher is the one where everyone looks to for information. And so this is definitely a big change, but I found it's an incredible change both for me as a teacher and for the students. Motivation, engagement, retention, all have gone drastically upwards since I started this. So again, flipped learning is just taking the traditional method, turning it upside down, putting students in control of the pace and kind of the pathway to their learning.